The foundation of human understanding teaches an observation exercise, often called meditation, which permits you to become objective toward your problems and allows your heartaches, bad habits, fears, and anxieties to be completely eliminated from your life without effort on your part. Until you have begun to practice this exercise, much of what you see and hear on the following program may be shocking and upsetting to you. But if you will listen calmly and with an open mind, you may discover the key to the peace of mind and joy for which you've been searching all of your life. And now, from the foundation of human understanding, here is Roy Masters.
It's time for Advice Line. Call now at 800-866-8883. That's 800-866-8883. Here's your host, Roy Masters.
Hello, here I am again. My job is to unscrew you. I mean, people screw you, pardon the expression, but my job is to undo all the harm done to you in your life and give you freedom. That's the whole secret here of my work. When I said the secret, that word jumped in front of what I wanted to say. I know how to overcome your traumas that could take you forever and kill you through causing many kinds of illness, thousands of kinds of illness, thousands and thousands, such as a stressed immune system, uncontrollable thoughts, endless stupor thoughts playing an important role. And then you have heart problems and cancer, dementia, autoimmune diseases, smoking, drinking drugs. You know, it goes on. The thousands of diseases come from trauma or stress. Well, there's something interesting about stress that you may need to know, that if you're stressed you lose your freedom. I want you to understand that. Freeze frame that, please. Now, having said that, I just want to review a little bit of the day's news. Benghazi. I noticed this. We really at war when someone attacks our embassy and kills our chief operating officer there, and several others, brave men and women, I suppose. No, there was not a woman there killed, I don't believe. But that is an act of war. There's nothing to do with politics. But strangely, a group of people call themselves Democrats. Didn't cover it hardly at all. Didn't want you to know that your commander-in-chief could be wrong. And not only that, could be the enemy of the state. That's my opinion here. And that he's allowing things to go wrong. Because, how can I say, I've got to hesitate here, because his politics are not just Democrat that it used to be. We used to know Democrats. We fought a war against Democrats, did we not? Civil War, and to free the slaves. They're not much different now. They're not much different now. But they've been compromised and made worse by something called socialism or communism. And that's going to bring it down our country. And so they're all running to the defense of this president when he has allowed something to happen or complicit in it happening. I just want to say that. And I just want to remind you of what it looks like to have the country divided into what we now see as Democrats, a Democrat person. In other words, if a country is falling apart, if there's something wrong with your government, the way something wrong is right now, it's got to be a certain kind of person, either deceived or complicit, that has elected them. Now, you need to look at what happens to what is equivalent to Democrat and Republican, what is equivalent in North Korea. the Democrats or liberals follow their leader, and it became North Korea. Look at North Korea, and look what's about to happen to America. Look what's happening right now. And I can show you, or talk about this evening if you want to, and you should be calling me about these things, about this man who seemed like a friendly enough fellow. He had 3 ladies, women, children, when some of them were children when they were abducted, in his house. And he looked like a good guy, but they not always look like a good guy. If that person could be elected to be president, he would show that face to all of us, just like what happened in North Korea. So the Democrats, let's call them Democrats, equivalent. See, the ones that elected to go with their leaders are now eating each other because there's no food. And there were those who they elected are tyrants and doing to their people what this man did to those 3 women, or has been doing to these 3 women, with nobody to rescue them, no one to rescue them. That's what's happening to this country. It's happening all over. And I want to talk about that tonight, if you don't mind. But we'll take our calls first.
Call Roy at 800-866-8883 between the hours of 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. West Coast time.
The foundation of human understanding teaches an observation exercise, often called meditation, which permits you to become objective toward your problems and allows your heartaches, bad habits, fears, and anxieties to be completely eliminated from your life without effort on your part. Until you have begun to practice this exercise, much of what you see and hear on the following program may be shocking and upsetting to you. But if you will listen calmly and with an open mind, you may discover the key to the peace of mind and joy for which you've been searching all of your life. And now, from the foundation of human understanding, here is Roy Masters.
Yes, before I take my calls and then talk about the things that are happening to our country and using the stories in the news as a means of trying to help you understand what's happening to all of you, what kind of country we're becoming. We're losing our freedom. And in the beginning of my program a few minutes ago, I was saying to you that your stress, a stressed immune system, which is what's getting stressed, your immune system is affected, your mind is affected, your soul is affected. And all that's compounded by your struggle to redeem yourself. And so, but the endless loop of thoughts that ensues with all suffering plays an important part in heart diseases and every kind of sickness, thousands and thousands of problems. Cancer, dementia, autoimmune disease, smoking, drinking, drugs, everything. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And I have found a cure for that. The cure meaning I've found a way to help you deal with the stress and then the results of that stress. So those ladies, those women who have just been released for being held for 10 years in a maniacal, crazy guy's house, manicured and beaten, while he seems so nice on the surface. Your president seems nice on the surface, but if he has his way, what's happening in that household, what happened in that household will happen here. And I will say that because if you just switch the subject, and let me just mention about this doctor, there's an abortion doctor in the abortion clinic who has killed hundreds, God knows how many, more than hundreds, thousands of babies, live, born, breathing, and found people that help him to snip the necks of, under filthy conditions. And he found people to help him. to do that because the doctor told them to do it. And so you have in your midst those kinds of things, and the Democrats are defending this man. So if I was a Democrat, I'd be ashamed. I would change my vote right away. Yes, the Republicans at least have a modicum of virtue, and they have their problems, but they do represent, even not perfectly, the country we call America. So I just want to say that. But my job, well, let me say something before I say what my job is. While I was watching the discussion about the three ladies who were held captive, imprisoned, tortured, and all those horrible things that they describe, I don't have to say you've heard the news, and if you hadn't, then you're not awake. But then, what caught my ear was this statement: imagine the suffering of those young women and how much they had to suffer for the rest of their lives. And then you have psychologists talking about, yes, it's going to take years and years and years of treatment. Bullcucky. There is no treatment for that. There is no cure for it. There's no cure for post-traumatic stress disorder except what I have. I know how to do that. And I've given, if I may brag a little bit, 400,000 of these CDs that help them to do it for themselves over the last 4 or 5 years. Also created an organization, a military one, so that at great expense, and gave those CDs to Tony Monaco, who is in charge of that, and to distribute it. We're running out of money, of course, but the thing is, 400,000 combination of CDs and downloads is quite a bit. But it's still not enough, and I wish I had a billionaire to give me $15, $20, $30 million, because that's what it would take to reach the whole military. But you are earning you earn a living, most of you, on welfare. You got money to buy dope and snort dope and waste your money in one way or another. So you could do with a little help from me to help you to become a free individual, that you may think of yourself as such. At this moment, you're not. Because basically, let me just revise I don't want to go into a long. I've got to be careful when I'm opening the program that I don't go too many directions at once. But I wish you'd call me. I'm not interested in somebody disagreeing with me on Benghazi, please, if you don't mind. I don't want to make this political. I'm going to have my way, and you have your liberal media that poo-poos and hides everything your sick president does, your communist president does, and you can disagree with me, and we're not going to agree, so go away. Okay? Now, thank you very much. I just dropped that man because it's not going to be that. I'm going to explain these things, how they work, how your country could become West America, West Coast and East Coast, and one of them would be well, sort of conservative, not necessarily Republican, but conservative means we conserve the values of our forefathers. Get it? I like that. I came here for that. And I won't put up with anything short of that. And the rest of you can go to the East Coast and create a North Korea, because that's what you'll get, and that's what you're going to deserve. Okay, now, having said that, I will take calls, and wherever I can, I would like to talk about the news and why those people, those three ladies who were rescued from this horrible condition, does not have to suffer for the rest of their lives any more than those who are in a post-traumatic stress disorder in the military. Those who have got my CD the military version is called Coping Strategies. And those who have that, most of them recover. Although 22 men and women kill themselves every day because they can't stand the pain, the agony. And the VA is not helping them but making them worse. I have suspicion that the socialists or communists in the VA that will not help our veterans but make them worse with drugs. And drugs is all they got. But there is a solution. I have it. Thank you. Okay. Now, that's what you can argue with me about, and not Benghazi, please, if you don't mind. That's a declaration of war, and your president has failed you. And if they fail you here, and they cover it up, and if the Democrats don't start helping them cover it up, we may have more stuff like that. And you're going to live under a dictatorship if you're not careful. We'll have a bloody civil war if you're not careful. Thank you very much for listening, and support our program with your tax-deductible donations. I'm Roy Masters, and good evening.
Thanks for listening, and support our program. It's very important, and join us in the next program.